What's up, everybody? It's your girl Divine Reality, and I am back with another video. Actually, I'm going to be remaking the last video that I posted, which I deleted at 68 views because I felt like it was a bit too much raw in the emotions. And honestly, I just want to try doing this whole YouTube thing and share my experiences without bashing anyone. But obviously, I am not perfect. But when I called my sister a bitch in the video, I felt convicted somewhat because I know that the enemy will harden our hearts towards the people that need our prayer the most. And in this moment, for that person, for me, it's definitely my sister. So, with that being said, I'm going to start off from where I left off. Okay, so at this point, we all know how the enemy works, right? How he can and will use other people. Also, that he attacks through the mind. Well, I'm so sad to say that he's gotten a hold to my daughters. For those of you who do not know, I'm a single mother of a 9-year-old little girl who I raised on my own pretty much from the time she was born with the absence of her father. She obviously goes to school, she even plays sports, and I've never missed a game. A lot of times she'll come home and she'll tell me how mean and rude her teacher and coach is, so I've had several confrontations with the both of them. She also just dealt with her first bully, same grade, same school. They even stayed in the same apartments. So I was able to knock on her door and speak with her mom. Thankfully, the mom was very respectful. She apologized and she even said that she'll talk with her daughter and have her apologize as well. Also, I want to appreciate the fact that when I went over, her man stood there the entire time making sure his woman was good. It didn't intimidate me at all, so I did say what I had to say, but honestly, I just love that for her because there's nothing like feeling safe and secure in the presence of your own man. Anyways, so they actually end up moving away, so that pretty much handled that problem. Now I found out my sister had the audacity to slap my daughter. Apparently, my daughter called her a bitch. Now I did talk to my daughter and let her know that that was very inappropriate, but at the same time, if you knew my daughter, you would know she had to be extremely provoked to say anything like that. Now, my mom is my primary babysitter. She's definitely my go to. I'll even work around her schedule. So, my mom has custody over my sister's 2 kids, and a lot of times they'll do things and they'll blame my daughter for them, and she'll actually get in trouble. So, with my daughter being under the pressure of the bully, her coach, teacher, auntie, and grandma's favoritism slash neglect, my daughter was just completely stressed out. So stressed out to the point where she told me that she didn't even want to live anymore. As if that wasn't enough to express it to me, she expressed it to other people, like her grandma and the school counselor. The school counselor called me in several times for a few meetings, but thankfully, the lady was very understanding. I ended up taking my daughter to the hospital due to a really bad headache that lasted exactly 4 days. When I got there, I just completely broke down to the nurse, told her how bad I felt like I was failing. But she told me with me feeling that way was full confirmation that I wasn't. She was very comforting and it felt like she was an angel, man. So when I took my daughter home, I asked her, why exactly are you feeling this way? She tells me, I just feel like no one cares. And I'm just thinking, like, how can you say that? I care about you more than I care about myself. But I say to her, I love you a lot and I care so much. Why isn't that enough? And she just looked at me and cried. She didn't have an answer for me. But in that moment, I knew that it's not that what I do isn't enough. It's just really hard for one person to try and be everything for another person. I know that my daughter is going to go through trials and tribulations because we live in a fallen world. But the fact that the enemy is attacking the person that I feel I need the most, it's starting to become unbearable. Satan knows how much I love my daughter. He knows how much I need her. And he knows that my strength comes from her. But I think that just may be the problem. I remember watching this movie called Breakthrough about a little boy who fell to a frozen lake and went into a coma. The mom visited him at the hospital every day. She prayed over him for a miracle, and she kept her faith. But eventually, she grew weary and frustrated with God. But it wasn't until she surrendered and that when the miracle happened. She had to acknowledge that God was fully in control, and if it was her son's time to go, then she had to be willing to let go. And that's when he woke up. That's when God answered her prayers. Now I know it's a completely different story from mine, but see, my point is a lot of us mothers, we do get our strength from our kids. A lot of us do live for them, and majority of us feel like that they are our purpose. But I think the true purpose in life is to know God, our creator, the Heavenly Father, and to have a relationship with His Son, Jesus Christ. In this moment, I know God is not even asking. He's telling me it's time to surrender. I'm not even sure exactly what that looks like, but I know I'm going to do it. I know I love my daughter, but in reality, she doesn't belong to me. She's a gift from God, and she was loaned to me. I never really understood the balance of putting yourself first and prioritizing your daughter. Ever since I became a mom, it's always been about her. And for her to say that she feel like no one cares is really heartbreaking for me. I think there's a time where we have to balance out prioritizing yourself and keeping your kids happy. I'm still learning, obviously. And I just pray I have enough time for God to save us both.